Welcome everyone to the 5th edition of Vienna Special, and today I'll be talking to Jason Cloud, an American theater actor and director. At first, I would like to congratulate you and your cast on Alice in Wonderland performance.
Thank you.
What prompted you to get into theater?
Well, it goes back to my childhood. I grew up in downtown West Minneapolis on one of the biggest streets there, Hennepin Avenue. And that street is basically the theater district of Minneapolis. It just so happened to be. So I had on my street, I had the State Theater, I had the Orpheum. Bob Dylan owned it for a while, then he has actually sold it to the municipality. We had the Contagious Theater and the Schubert Theater, which got renamed, and a lot of them were closed for a while, but back in the 90s, say like 91, 93, they started reopening. And once I was able to kind of know what's going on, because kids aren't really good at that, my parents took me to the theater, watched some Peter Pan musical. It was a Peter Pan musical, but it just sparked my interest. I was like, I wanna go back, see another one. So we did that. Then we went and saw another one. And went to the other theater, saw another one. Then, like once I got in high school stuff, theater wasn't cool. It wasn't cool to go to the theater, but I was like, yeah, I kind of wish I could go to the theater. Yeah, so.
And what theater play, if you could name, made you to make the switch to I want to be a theater actor?
That will be that's super cliche, but just anything Shakespeare.
Second question is, do you still get jittery before going on stage?
What makes me jitter is when something goes wrong 30 minutes before the show starts. Because in Mental Eclipse, I'm responsible for stage management as well as directing my colleagues. So usually before the show, I'm the guy running around with the wrench and the masking tape, looking for someone's scene partner. So if someone's late, that makes me jitter. Not out of fear, but out of anger.
So you don't get nervous before going on stage, like?
No, you just zone out once the curtain opens.
Okay. And what inspires you to do what you do?
A lot of our productions, because we are a pretty dark themed theater, a lot of our stuff actually comes out of nightmares or just something that keeps you up at night. And it's there and it's eating you. It's like, hey, you should do something about it. You should do something about it. Why aren't you doing anything about it? And then, like, you have like your idea, and you can just jot it down and see where it goes from there. I didn't think that Alice would end up being the Alice adaptation it is now if it wasn't for a lot of nightmares and fears, maybe like some obsessions.
Why am I constantly ignored? Maybe Mom just loves her more.
Could it be that Terra's wrong? I also be under the spell.
Is there nothing that I say of worth? Is there no place for me on earth?
Been stuck in here for far too long. There is a place where you belong.
I don't know what I've done wrong. I wish that we would get along.
It's too late now to reconcile. Your bitter scorn would drive you wild. Where she gave you?
Where do you hope to go from here in your career? Do you have any prize that you're striving for?
Are you talking long term or short term?
Long term.
Long term, we need to take over the world long term. Just kidding. Short term is more realistic because you don't know what tomorrow might bring. But say for next year, we would like to be at the fringe festivals, at least like the ones in Central Europe, like Budapest and Prague. From there, we'd hope to perform some of our stuff at Edinburgh. Just expand a little more, cover more ground, show more people what we have and what we do.
I see. And when you audition your cast, what are the qualities that you seek in an actor that you're going to work with?
Well, sometimes there's casting directors who really have this image of the character, like this is what the character should be. And I won't settle for anything less. Like they just want a reflection of the idea of the character they have. So sometimes they don't even give actors a chance. Like, you don't look like the character that I have in mind. Next. But what we like to do is we like to try something with said actor and see how they become the character, like what they can bring to that character. And sometimes, if not most of the time, if they're a great actor, you can see that, and that their interpretation of your character is actually better than what you had in mind in the first place. And that's always amazing to discover.
Next question is, you work as a theater actor and as a director, right? Who do you prefer to work as most?
Both have like their
Strengths and
perks.
weaknesses.
Yeah. When you're in like the director's chair, first you get to watch like all the scenes. Sometimes you have to watch those scenes for like 4 hours. But then you can really like adjust everything, and you take into consideration like how the actors work with each other, or if something's like really off, you can just try and adjust it, find out the reason why the things aren't working. And with this acting, it's acting.
What do you see are the pros and cons of being a professional actor?
The pros are you're a professional actor. You get to take part in like the professional productions. But let's start with the cons. Like if I were to make a list, like pros, you're a professional actor. Cons. Okay, let's see. If you start from the top, like with the small stuff. Say there's a thing in the industry. It's called cast typing, and usually they cast like a certain type of actors to play certain kinds of roles. And once you know like what your type is, like pretty much there's no way out of this. Say like Denzel
So you
Washington
get to
always
establish
gets to
the
play
role.
like the action hero, and yeah, and people expect you to just stay consistent. So you pretty much have to look like you do in your headshot all year round. You can't go crazy. You can't.
Mess up.
You can't like try out a new hairstyle like right before an audition because the casting director is just gonna be like, you don't look like you. We have to fix that. Tattoos. Like, if you think you're gonna get a sleeve, but like for each tattoo you get, like you cut your chances of getting a role by like approximately 60. That's a figure I made up, but. You just need to be a canvas, and then like it takes up a lot of your time. You start sacrificing your social life and your personal life. It's like auditions and rehearsals and shows. Then there's like the 8% of actors who actually get to work full time, and the other 92 need a survival job. Thing is, in order to have that survival job, you need to be able to check out halfway through your shift to go to an audition. So you need to find someone who's gonna put up with that. Depending on how you like learn stuff, you're gonna find yourself walking around your place just like reciting lines that you're gonna start quoting plays. So your friends are they're gonna hate you.
Let's speak about like your romantic eclipse theater right now, like you mentioned before. Why did you decide to establish it, your own theater company?
Let's just say, we've been to like me and my colleagues. We've been to a lot of theater in Vienna, both English and German. And while it's like it's a great play that night, and they've put a lot of work in, and everything's like in place. Sometimes it's a little bit too perfect, like too frilly, and it feels like it was missing something.
What are you? We see your flattering look of wonder.
We are one and shall be put asunder.
Asunder.
Actually, I'm very sorry, but
Oh, it is sorry.
but there is no need to worry. We are used to stands without glass being frayed. Yeah, I'm sure.
We are used to all the laughter
And the insults that come after.
and the injuries thereafter.
Let us give it our name.
Tweedledum is what they call me.
Tweedledee, that is my name.
Or
Oh, the
Or the
Tweedles.
Tweedles.
That's the same.
the same.
What are the forthcoming projects that we can expect from you and your team?
Well, we still have one Alice show left.
Yeah.
We have 2 months almost. Well, I'm not looking at my watch. We have 2 months until our last Alice show, November 30th at Theater Couch. Right after that, 1 week afterwards, we're opening our stage adaptation of VIENNA'S by Schubert. And that's something we never really thought that we would end up doing this.
Okay.
So a lot of the team is feeling intimidated by it, but just because of this whole dogma about how classical music should be performed. So like your typical layout for VIENNA'S or any other song cycle would be a pianist and a singer, and it's a very, very stiff affair, like no movement, no nothing, just the pianist is playing, the singer is singing, you don't get much, you just listen to the story, but the rest is up to you. And we kind of wanted to bring it to life. Really, because it's an interesting story. The plot is very open for interpretation, and that's just our take on it.
Okay. Will be it like as dark as usual?
The name of the work, it's VIENNA'S. It starts out with the words "Fremd bin ich eingezogen, fremd ziehe ich wieder aus." It's like I came a stranger, and that's how I will leave. That could be laden with a lot of different meanings. You know, it could, in the literal sense, it's about this guy who moved in a town and he had a girlfriend. Something went wrong between the two, so he left in the middle of the night without letting her know. He only wrote "good night" on her door. But beyond that, you could have a political meaning. You could have a social meaning. You could could go all over the place. Like,
Yeah,
trying
you're
to
open
find
to adaptation. Yeah,
Exactly.
interpretation. Yeah. That's it. Last but not least, in your opinion, why people in nowadays prefer cinema over live theaters?
This might be a very crass comment on my side, but that's kind of like having to. You have the option to go to a restaurant,
Okay.
but you go for fast food instead, like because it's like you go to McDonald's, you get the same thing, like it always tastes the same,
Mhm.
and it's it's bad for you, but you like it. It's very addictive. With the movies, you get this consistency. Your friends go and see it. They tell you what they saw. You know that you're going to get the thing that your friends got.
Just the same. Yeah.
And with the theater, you have variables that could change a show from night to night, especially if the actors are going moment to moment.
Now have a fire round, brief questions, short answers. Among actors right now, who is your role model?
I'm drawing a blank here.
Name 3 the most beautiful actresses right now.
Why don't you just go on our homepage in the About section and just scroll down. First 3 you see, there we go.
What's your dream role?
My dream role is something that I will probably not be able to get. My dream role is, now that's very cheesy. I want to be a hero in an opera.
Mhm.
That is a role that goes to the tenor. Baritones like me get to play villains. Now that's amazing. Sometimes the villain is much more complex. But the audience has the soft spot for the hero.
What's the best movie of all time?
I would have to say American Psycho, just because it managed to capture the book, but not piss off that many people. Because if you go through the book, that is horrible.
Okay.
Like women were angry, everyone was angry. I think that's why Bret Easton Ellis put it out, and then Mary Herron got a hold of it, and she initially wanted to cast Leo DiCaprio for that, and his agent told him, after Titanic, if you do American Psycho, your fans gone. So they went ahead and got Christian Bale. I think he really,
He nailed the job.
yeah, he was really into that.
Vienna or Minneapolis?
Well, I've been here for 8 years. I haven't gone back. This whole time that I've been here, they both have their perks. Once you take out the suburbs from Minneapolis, you're left with something that's the size of Graz, but with more high-rise buildings. I like Vienna.
Okay. Oscar or Golden Bear?
I'd settle for a Razzie if I could get one.
Name top 3 qualities that any actor must have.
They need to be dedicated. It doesn't matter what it is. You can go into an audition for a commercial, for sweetener. This has happened to me. I had a workshop, and then I had to go into an audition for this sweetener.
Okay.
And it's this is ridiculous. I have to drink out of an imaginary cup, then slam it, and then just yell sweet in a very high-pitched voice. But once it's rolling, you're just just do it. Just do it. It's it's what you're supposed to do. Just it doesn't matter what it is. Just do it. Other 2 qualities, you need to be reliable, because a lot of people who are into arts, that they suffer with organization, and they're running late. I'm a bit of a Nazi when it comes to punctuality. But yeah, don't make the crew or the other actors wait for you, because you wouldn't like it if this happens to you. And last but not least, like, just don't talk back to the director.
You can argue with him, like, or
I've had this one director. He would just scrap the stage directions, and he would just make you go straight into it. And then he just stops you, take one step, and he's like, "Stop! What are you doing there? Why did you do this?" And then you just like, because it's like, "I don't believe you. Do it again."
okay. I see. Yeah, that's what it. Thank you so much for finding time for this interview. And as actors used to say, break your leg.
I'll try not to, but
Thank you so much.